Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast, Kevin and Chuck. Today, we're going to talk about boats. Now, what I was thinking about is, man, with gangs, MS-13, the Latin Kings, and, I don't know, Nazis, all these crazy prepper groups out there, all kinds of stuff. You know, I feel like eventually the raiders catch up with you.
Right.
You know, either I'm going into the woods, far into the woods, because you got to go far if you're going to be self-reliant.
Right.
Because otherwise, you know, you're sharing the deer, the everything.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe escaping the sea, especially if you're like live in Baltimore, Washington, D.C., you know?
Yeah, New York
what's it
City.
going to take if... You know, I mean, if it's some kind of slow natural disaster that you see coming months in advance, then you obviously have time to prepare and do something. But if it's an EMP or, you know, a run on the banks and then the next day freaking, you know, riot in the streets and then Antifa and then looting and whatever, and all of a sudden it's kind of gang-controlled America, because honestly... There's not enough people out there protecting if all the crazy went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really could get away. So I can't help but think if I'm the guy who lives in Baltimore, D.C., L.A., one of these, you know, areas, maybe I want to get on my boat and head out.
That's right.
That does not sound like, if you want to live long term, I feel like that may be, I mean, all the scenarios I see that go, you know, all the prepper books, all the different stuff, unless the world gets its shit together and everything turns back to normal, I kind of feel like you're going to be dead within a year.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Yeah. One of the things I think about is plague, you know? Some sort of disease, whether man-made or naturally occurring, you know, if you can isolate yourself on a boat, you don't have to worry about that.
New York City, you know, the lights go out. You're smart enough to figure out it's an EMP. People just think it's the power is out for the first 10 hours at least.
Uh-huh.
You walk down to the pier, get in your boat, smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing. That's
now,
right, and especially if you have a sailboat.
I don't know what a dock costs in New York City, though.
Well, yeah.
New York Harbor, that might be an expensive little fee, but you could, and even storage units are expensive.
I can tell you this, though.
You could have a boat on a trailer and drop it in.
If you have a boat.
If your car worked, if
you have a boat and you have it moored in any place in the United States, it's estimated that you're paying about half that you would pay as rent. So if you're living on the boat. You're already
just cut the
money.
line. You don't even have to untie it. Just break out the knife. We're out.
Yep.
Give the dock a little shove.
Mm-hmm.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
All right. You know, and as a former sailor, well, and by sailor, I mean I was in the Navy, not that I know how to sail a sailboat.
Right.
I have
Big difference there.
limited knowledge on sailing a sailboat, enough to know that if that's your plan, take a class.
Yeah.
Like, it could be a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like 5 hours of sailing, that's okay.
I actually was reading, you know, doing research on it, and they said if you're planning on spending more than a year at sea, that you should have 6 months of practice with your boat first.
That sounds right. Captain Ron is one of my favorite movies.
Excellent
So
movie.
I feel like just because I've seen Captain Ron, that may be enough.
Yeah. I watched Waterworld.
Oh, now that's a whole thing. And some
They
of
had
the
the
people
jet
had gills.
skis. He had gills. Kevin Costner had gills.
Woo!
Amazing.
Some good stuff right there.
That was an awful movie, though. Actually, if you have not
Now,
seen
mind
Waterworld,
you, he's saying Waterworld was an awful movie. Captain Ron
excellent.
is my A1 number one recommendation for the week.
100%.
I made the old lady watch it, and she was not impressed.
She didn't think it was
And
as
I'm
funny?
like, this is freaking
He had
awesome.
a glass eye that he kept losing. It was great.
Kept popping
He
out.
crashed into the Great Barrier Reef. How do you not? I don't understand it.
I felt a connection. All right? So I'm just saying that there may be an option. Now, so escaping the sea, you're telling me that people have done it or have plans
this
to
is
do it.
this has happened all through history.
Okay. Do tell.
Well, there's the Uru people in Lake Titicaca, which,
South
I mean, if you're
America.
going to live in a lake, why not that? It's the largest lake in South America.
Okay.
It's the highest elevation-wise of any navigable lake in the world.
Really?
Now, the Uru people have been living there for thousands of years, at least. So, what they did was they were building giant rafts, like massive floating islands, and out of the reeds they would cut. And anytime I think it was the Incas and the Kulus that were their enemies, and anytime something would come up,
So you're
they
saying
just float out to the middle. And
you're saying
just
that
live
the
there.
gangs of the time
The gangs of the time
would
that's
come
right.
out and try and wreak havoc, bring their, aggressive, violent behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd say, "No, fuck you, I'm going out in a boat."
Yep, they just push off, and they'd live
This
out there
This
for
is what
for
I'm saying.
6 months,
This
years
is
at a time.
Exactly my point.
Yep.
So when you're in Washington D.C. and you're like, "Wait, I feel like there's an angry mob of chaos and ugliness.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm in a swamp of evil."
Right. And the truth
Just
is,
get in the boat.
when it comes down to that, just being 1,000 yards off the coast is enough. Just get out, outside a gunshot range. They're not going to swim out there, and they're going to chase you down with their boat. But you're also in a boat. You just keep moving away. I know a lot of people talk about. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people talk about sailboats, and that's a real sustainable way.
Yes.
But any sailboat, any modern sailboat has an outboard motor.
Yes.
That can, getting out of a harbor and things like that with a sailboat, you can't do it with the
Nah,
sails.
the navigating is just silly.
Mm-hmm.
But in the tight quarters like that.
Right.
But we're gonna get to that. Now, what else? So the new route.
Now,
do they
there's
live
also-
on the boat. Well, do they live on? So you're saying they're like giant barges made out of reeds?
But yeah, they're basically floating islands, is what
Okay.
they are.
Now,
that's not the only.
how do they work it? And they've been doing this since forever.
Forever, they're still there now. If you go to Lake Titicaca, you'll find them
Just
out on
when
the
I
water.
start walking over to them,
Mhm.
they're going to be like later.
And you know who? Now Lake Titicaca is it's a lake that is on the border of Chile and I think it's Bolivia.
Okay.
And so they don't pay taxes.
What?
No taxes.
You have my attention. And actually, when you brought this up to me when we started discussing this,
Uh-huh.
I did a quick YouTube search, started watching, some videos about people on their barges,
Yep.
and they were all like fat. And I'm like, wait a minute, they look pretty happy.
Yes.
They weren't like, oh, I'm working, I'm a slave to the grind. They were like, I got my beer belly, and I don't know if it's from beer or just they eat a lot of fish. I don't know.
Well, I'm assuming that if you spend your entire life on the water, you can catch enough fish. You know how to do it. You can catch enough fish that you can sell some for beer money.
Beer money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I like
Now-
what they're doing.
The Aztecs actually had a city that it's now where Mexico City was.
Okay.
And it was basically a big lake with islands as rings that you would have to cross bridges to get to each consecutive island. And they had floating islands that they grew vegetables and produce on to supply themselves.
Like now in our advanced world, it just occurred to us that we might start doing
that we
something
can make
like
this. Yeah, we can start doing this. Right. They did it for thousands of years before the Spaniards showed up. Now, what killed them is the Spaniards were able to destroy their aqueduct system, so they had no water. So they really just had to wait them out for a few weeks, and then, then they just ran in there and killed everybody.
All right. Nobody told them about a solar still.
Nobody.
But we'll get to that.
All right. That's right. But all through history, there's been a lot of organizations that have just functioned as sea people and living on the ocean. Now there's something going on right now that I don't think is actually working out. It's called the Freedom Ship.
All right.
And they're trying to raise $11 million to get it off the ground.
I'm trying to raise $11 million.
I'm trying to
what
do
a
the same,
coincidence!
Right. So it's they have the designs for it. They haven't started construction yet, but it's 1.1 miles long.
Okay.
790 feet. 279 feet high, 820 feet wide, which is pretty big. That's bigger than an aircraft carrier. It has housing for 80,000 people on it. It's going to have a hospital, casino, school system, hotel, shopping, which is duty-free because you're out in the middle of the ocean.
Nice.
And it just would travel around the world, basically, going from port to port. So it's not...
Now, is there a flag on this ship, or is it the Freedom flag?
It's the Freedom flag, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, now it's I've been looking into it. It looks pretty impressive. They're saying maybe construction will begin in 2019. I did some research.
It's
I haven't
2019 right now.
It is 2019. I haven't seen anything going on currently.
All right.
But, keep your eyes out because this might be it. It's what they call a walking city. Basically, that it would just be...
Like an aircraft carrier.
That's right. And it will have air transportation and hydrofoils to get back and forth to the shore.
Yes.
That's really what excited me, the hydrofoils.
Sure.
Now...
You probably learned about hydrofoils first from G.I. Joe back in the day.
That's right. G.I. Joe had them. Legit.
All right.
Now, do you want to talk about Sealand?
Tell me about Sealand. Now, this is over in England? Where's this?
Not quite.
Tell me more.
Off the coast of Essex. So it is near England.
Well, there's a lot of confusion and a lot of people out there. England and Ireland and Scotland. Now, Ireland's its own island. It's nice. They're happy. But then there's Scotland and England.
Right.
They're
and
the
the
same
island
country,
of Isle of Man.
Country.
Yeah.
They're not the same country.
There's Great Britain. There's the United Kingdom. They all encompass different things, and it makes no sense.
There is a lot of confusion.
I talked to a friend of mine that was Irish about it, and he explained the whole thing to me.
Really? What'd he say?
I have no idea.
Well, because he was speaking Irish.
Because there's like 40 different, because there's 40 different things. There's England, there's Great Britain, there's the UK, and then Ireland is not really any of them.
And then we're all the British Empire, right?
Right. So I don't know what's what.
All right. So
I'm
as
sure
long as we're clear on that.
Yeah.
Like they don't even know what's going on with their own country.
I feel like if some of our British listeners could send me an email that broke it down,
break this down,
but I still wouldn't understand that 5 minutes after I read it.
You might need to draw a map.
Right. All right. So
just wanted to be clear.
What is not in the United Kingdom,
all right,
is the Principality of Sealand. Now it's all right. It was an anti-aircraft platform built by the British during World War II.
All right,
to protect shipping and watch out for mine-laying ships, Nazi mine-laying ships. So Patty Bates claims that it's a sovereign state. And what he did was he seized it from a group of pirate radio broadcasters. People were running pirate radio off of it. And he just went out there and took it from them in 1967.
All right.
Now, his son, Michael Bates, was named the region in 2012. But a lot of stuff has happened in the history. All right, so in 1968, British workers entered Sealand's territorial waters. I'm using air quotes here. Territorial waters, and were fired on by Michael Bates. That's the son.
All right.
He was charged with gun crimes by the British government, but the case was dropped because it was outside of British territorial waters. Now, it's only 6 miles off the coast, or 7 miles off the coast. So that's questionable, right? But in August 1978, Alexander Achenbach, who was a German resident but also had a Sealand passport, attacked Sealand with jet skis, speedboats,
he had a
helicopters,
passport and he attacked
but he
his
also
home?
attacked it because he wanted it for himself. Helicopters, ski boats, or helicopters, speedboats, and jet skis with German mercenaries attacked it when Paddy Roy Bates and his wife were in England.
Only his wait son, till they go away.
Right, only his son Michael was there. They grabbed him. They captured Sealand, held him hostage, but he had weapons stashed on the platform that they didn't know about. So he ended up breaking out, fighting him off, and capturing Alexander Achenbach. Captured him, held him hostage, and demanded, let me see, I have it written down here, demanded a ransom for 75,000 Deutschmarks, which is $35,000 at the time.
Because if we don't compare it to American money,
right.
We don't have any idea.
The government of Germany demanded that England take care of this and release the hostage. And they said, well, according to this court document from 10 years ago, we have no grounds there.
We have no
so
grounds.
It's not even part of the UK. So he ended up actually getting the ransom.
Yeah.
He released Achenbach, and Achenbach established a government in exile back in Germany, which is known as the Sealand Rebel Government. So, as far as we know, it's still run by Michael. It's still run by Michael. He's still the Prince of Sealand, and you can get passports. You can buy passports. They have their own. They have their own sports team, but they won't. Nobody's recognizing them as a country, so they can't enter in the Olympics.
Damn it.
But they have their own sports team, and they do curling and swimming and things like that. Amazing stuff.
How many people live? Do we have a square footage or a mile thing of this island?
It's 0.01 miles is the size of Sealand.
I feel like, how do we have this team? Is it all one guy? Is all the athletes?
It's all, they just let other athletes from other countries represent them in events.
Now it's making more sense.
Right.
Just like we can get the passport.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So now a swimmer swam from Sealand to the coast of England.
Okay.
And they knighted him. He's now a knight of Sealand.
So Sealand knighted him.
Sealand knighted him because it's a kingdom. It's not there's no elected government. It's just rulers, and it's passed down by heredity, and so I mean this has been going on for a good 50 years now. So I feel like the United States honestly should recognize them as a nation.
We should just come clean with it.
They've got their own flag. They coin their own money, and it matches up. The money that they have matches up dollar for dollar with the American dollar.
Really? It
yes.
holds.
So whatever the dollar's value is what their currency is valued at. So, just saying, you could escape to Sealand if you live in England. Get a passport.
Might be your way
you can
out
buy
right
a passport. That's right. That might be your spot.
Yeah, but if it's 0.1 kilometers or miles?
0.1 miles.
It's weird they would use miles.
Well, it's also
they
that's
do match
all
up
living
to
space.
America.
That's all living space. That's not the waters themselves.
Ah, okay.
So
if I bring my own boat, kind of more
Right.
up out there,
you can add to their. Mm-hmm.
All right,
That's
I like it.
All right, so
So really, more when we discussed this, you were like, "Let's do a podcast on boats. It'll be awesome."
yeah,
And I was like, "Yeah," because you had all these wild fantasies about
cities at sea and yes,
cities at sea.
I
boats,
fully believe that
giant
this is
barge
possible.
ships. I thought we were gonna it was gonna be Titanic. People were gonna be out, leaning off the front of a boat.
That's
With
right.
their arms out. Dolphins were jumping.
You can buy oil platforms and live there if you want to.
That's a thing.
That's a thing.
All right. So there's
The
a lot of
diseases can't
options
get
out
to you
here.
on the oil platforms.
Smart.
That's got to be a really big
That's
sneeze.
better than like the plague or flesh-eating virus.
Mm-hmm.
Oil platform.
Oil platform.
You probably get direct TV, right?
Why not? What do you think the guys that were drilling for oil out there were doing?
Marky Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. I'm saying it. All right. So Kevin brought all this, and I was like, well, that sounds like a great podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, really, I think you're crazy, and we're not going to do it. So it got shelved for a good month or two.
It was probably close to 6 months.
Close to
We've been
6
vaguely
months.
talking about this podcast and
And it
Chuck
got
shooting
shut-
me down
So
time
then-
after time.
Then I start looking in all these things, and I'm like, man, gangs and bad stuff, and, all the stuff I mentioned in the beginning of this
Right.
episode. I was like, Kevin might be on to something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to go to Sealand. So I'm thinking, what if I want to put together a boat to get out of there? Well, the more I think about it, I feel like I don't want to be on a boat indefinitely.
Right.
I like kind of the idea if you had the big community and whatever, but in my mind at the moment and with my budget and whatever, kind of seems a little fantasy-like.
Right.
Doesn't seem realistic or practical. So what I would think is, I think you're going to want to find the deserted island. Now, if you're like, oh, there's an island just 30 miles out and it's small and nobody's there, well, somebody else might be thinking that too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's maybe not going to pan out for you. You might have to do some sailing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean month, 2 months, you might have to make a commitment here.
Right.
So my idea is you get on a boat and you go, but I do think there should be some purpose. I think if you're going to consider something like this, you're going to have to put some time in and understand some navigation.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably, I would go with the obvious, so the GPS, some kind of little weather radar, some kind of, little things that you can do.
Yeah. Well, you're also going to want to be able to make your own fresh water.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Well, you're rushing me.
Okay.
So I also, but you're going to need to kind of understand the stars and charts like that and a little bit of navigation, without communication from the outside world, because EMP, that kind of thing, it could get hairy. Now, Kevin is right. So first thing, I think sailboat is really the way to go. However, when I did my research, I did discover something called the electric yacht.
All right.
Now, this is a company that makes electric motors that you basically rip out the gas or diesel motor that's in your boat, throw this thing in, and it, usually they're meant to like match up to the same brackets, and it'll connect to the same drive shaft, and it's an electric motor that you can run off solar panels.
Nice.
Your own battery setup. The ones that I was looking at were 48 volt. So they were doing like 8 6-volt batteries. You're talking deep cell, big. You're going to pay $200 probably a battery, something like that. But obviously you can do the math. You could do 12 volt batteries and just do 4 of them and whatever. But again, it's the more amp capacity that you have, storage, whatever, you'll be able to go, longer without recharging, whatever, depending on the sun.
You
get
don't
the
have
idea.
to worry about the trees blocking out the sun.
Trees won't block out the sun, but the clouds can.
That's right.
But usually when there's clouds, there's wind.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of is like a trade-off. But anyway, something to look at. I checked it out. I couldn't find a local dealer. However, I did find them for sale on eBay for you're pretty expensive in that like $5,000 neighborhood.
Okay.
But that's doable if it's a priority for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're living in the city, I don't think that should be killing you. Now, next, so we kind of got the motor covered and some solar panels. And basically it was like $5,000, then figure another $1,000 in batteries, and then figure probably another $1,000 in solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
They have those like flexible sheet solar panels.
Yeah.
Though I would look into something like that, but I'm sure you could find a way to do it. I'm sure they have recommendations if it was something you were serious about. Whatever. You go with gas or diesel, but I got to tell you, it runs out.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kevin's right, you're going to, you have a small motor, gas, whatever, to get out of the harbor. But if you had solar all set up, then that's great too. But, I mean, and you could, don't get me wrong, just work off sailing, but you can get into trouble with that. There are times when the wind doesn't blow, and there's times when the wind doesn't blow the way you want it to. Now, a really awesome sailor usually can work with the winds and make it happen.
You just tack back
and forth in the opposite direction. It'll work. You don't always need the wind at your back.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to know how to work those sails.
That's right.
Like I said, I don't really know, so whatever. I read a book. There's actually some pretty good books out there about that kind of thing.
Right.
But then next thing is water. Now, a lot of these boats have a fresh water tank, but as a lot of you guys know, water weighs a lot.
Right.
And it just slows you down.
It actually weighs the same amount as the water you're in.
What?
That's right.
Yeah, but you're still displacing the cover. It's not quite the same thing. Don't let Kevin fool you. Jackass. Anyway, so bottom line, you have a water tank. That's good. Desalinization, it's kind of a tricky business.
It is a tricky business.
If you want serious water, you're looking at $3,000 or $4,000 again.
Right.
To have some kind of desalinization set up. And I feel like I'd want some kind of backup to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have smaller ones. You can buy little setups for like $150. I would say if you're not up for basically $10,000 for an electric motor and $5,000 for, $5,000 for the electric motor, $5,000 for the desalinization. And, whatever. I mean, you can buy a boat for $5,000. The economy is still kind of,
Yeah.
Where boats are still cheap, people still whatever. And, I think your minimum, you're planning on sailing out in the ocean. Your 29 foot is kind of your...
Yeah, that's the
minimum.
The smallest you could go.
It's, 29, 30 feet is
and
your... And
really, if you're going to be living on it and fitting all the equipment you need, you probably need more space than that.
I got to tell you, if that's my plan, I'm going to have a year worth of survival food buckets on there.
Mm-hmm.
12 one-month buckets. It's not going to take up a ridiculous amount of space. It's doable.
Mm-hmm.
But just the same, you need to plan on fishing and whatever. I'm saying I would have a year's supply and then plan on fishing and
most of my food coming
whatever.
From, yeah.
It'd be cool if you could grow some stuff. I don't know if you got solar panels and... stuff trying to grow, it gets into a little hairy.
Mm-hmm.
You also might want to look at what kind of nutrition you can get out of the ocean as far as seaweed and different things like that. Other things you might want to look into, though, is people think, I'm in the ocean, I'll be able to fish. Well, you get out in deep water, sometimes there's no fish.
Yeah.
A lot of times. If you're in deep water, there's no fish a lot of the time. And it's just kind of nothing.
Yeah.
And maybe you're going to be a seagull hunter.
Maybe
there's none of that way out
dolphins.
There, too.
They taste just
Kevin
like
eats
tuna.
dolphins. So they get caught in the tuna nets. It's all the same thing.
It's
you don't
delicious.
Even know. You've probably already had dolphin, and you don't even sweat it. So that's another option. So we got freshwater. We got an electric motor. We got sails.
Mm-hmm.
We got food storage. again, I would stick with a sailboat as, another option, but you're going to need charts. You're going to need, laying this stuff out. I think, realistically, you could get a viable boat for the $5,000 or something like that, but you're probably not going to get with the desalinization, and you're probably not going to get the electric motor without shelling out the extra. It's doable to say, all right, I'm just going to sail it. The other option, anarchy comes, everybody goes crazy, and you get down to the harbor and there's just boats there. Because rich people, they're going to their whatever.
Right.
They're probably not going to the boat.
Their lake house.
Lake house. See what he did there? No, I'm never the guy who's like, yeah, we'll just take other people's shit. But I'm just wondering how many go unattended because people don't even live anywhere near.
Yeah, and I've actually been tricked into breaking into somebody's boat.
See?
That was moored. I didn't even realize I was committing a felony. But
now you just admitted to it on
That's how easy it is, though, that you can do it without even realizing you're committing a felony.
You don't even realize.
Yeah. This girl told me it was her friend's boat, and
That's
it was
my
not.
Friend's boat. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Were you... Yep, I know what you were doing there. That is not appropriate behavior.
Now, another thing that
You see how he just segues?
Yeah, we're just going to move on now. Another thing that you're going to want on your boat is a dinghy.
Oof. I like a dinghy.
Yeah, you're going to have to be able to get back and forth to land. If you anchor off the coast of an island, you're not going to know if there are zombies on that island or not. You have to go investigate.
Next, I have to tell you about another thing you want to have on your boat. Some kind of 50 cal mounted pirates.
I'm on board with you. Now,
here we're circling back to Captain Ron.
Yeah, now, everywhere I read, they said, watch out for pirates, make sure you have a shotgun. I'm not going to count on a shotgun for pirates.
You're going for a mounted 50?
Yeah. Yeah, you need some sort of belt-fed, high-caliber weapon.
All right. And if not, learn how to shoot. I would recommend some sniper skills.
It's hard when you're going up and down.
With that handgun.
It's hard when you're going up and down, and the other boat is also going up and down. But if you remember Captain Phillips, do you remember? Did you ever see the movie?
I didn't watch it.
I remember reading in the articles. I did watch the movie later on, but the snipers from the U.S. Navy, they were SEALs on the ship. They attached on to this boat that Captain Phillip was in. It was basically a survival at sea type of
a rib or something.
Yeah, it was a hard plastic with a shell, over the top of you, and through the windows of this boat, the snipers were able to simultaneously shoot three terrorists, 3 pirates at the same time. While they were going up and down and the boat was going up and down. That's some skills right there.
Well, Navy SEALs.
Navy SEALs.
So if you're a Navy SEAL,
you don't even have to worry about it.
You don't need to worry about it. You just get in a boat.
You're good.
Day in port's a day wasted is what I say.
That's right.
No, not bad. So, that's pirates. I feel like there's not much,
but you don't have to worry about the pirates if you are the pirate.
Oh.
So, that might be the way to go.
Maybe some kind of, no quarter flag. Yep.
That's right.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Skull and Bones, Jolly Roger, run that shit up.
Run the shit up. And Kevin, why does it have to turn into something ugly?
Well, whatever.
I don't know if you guys remember, but way back in some of the earlier episodes, Kevin used to give me grief because I would be yawning through the podcast.
Yes.
And we actually had a listener put in a review or something. It was like, if Chuck wasn't yawning, maybe, one, because we record these pretty late at night because when we're done with work, whatever.
Right.
So
and we're probably 3 or 4 beers in already. 3 or 4 beers in,
I get comfortable. Now, Kevin's like, look, you just pause it. You look the other way. You stop talking. I can't do it. So I tried to limit the amount of yawning that you get in the podcast, and it's better. I do what I can do. But I was at a lady's house doing a repair on, I want to say New Year's Eve or the day before. And she calls up and tells my answering service, well, I don't think the guy did it right because he looked really tired when he was out here. And I think he had other things he would have rather been doing.
Okay.
So I was just thinking, maybe if our friends at EDC Coffee maybe want to, I recommend you guys go out, check out their stuff, and maybe they want to throw us a little love. Kevin says, an extra bag of coffee around here, he might be able to liven things up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do have to point out that I told the lady that she had to do, all this work for her stuff to work correctly, and she did none of it because her son thought that I didn't know what I was talking about. But then when I went out and proved that he was an idiot, but I still went back for free.
Yeah.
And then I'm just pissed off and angry.
Mm-hmm.
But had I had EDC coffee,
you'd have been all right.
In my mug before
you
I walked
have
in,
looked tired.
She would have been like, that guy was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
That's just how Chuck looks, though.
I do look tired. It's not easy being me.
Mm-hmm. Now, the most metal prepping thing that I've ever heard in my entire life happened.
All right, what's that?
So, I don't know if you're familiar with the band Cannibal Corpse.
I've heard of them.
It's metal.
It's metal. I don't know what's more metal than Cannibal Corpse.
Well, yeah, and you may know some of their classic songs, such as Evisceration Plague, or Hammer Smashed Face, or I Come Blood. Some of the classics.
Who hasn't seen those play out?
Mm-hmm. Well, Pat O'Brien, this was December...
And who's
December
Pat O'Brien?
10th is the guitar player for Cannibal Corpse. He called his parents the day before on the 9th and told them the rapture was coming to get ready. Then the next day, he maybe lit his own house on fire with a military-grade flamethrower.
Yes.
He used it to throw flames onto his house.
Okay, now was that to keep the demons out, or?
I don't know what was going on in the house, but there was something that it needed to burn for.
All right.
He ran up the street to one of the neighbors' houses and kicked in the front door and told them that they needed to get ready for the rapture. Aliens were coming, and this was it.
This is it.
He threw one of the lady that lived there. He threw her on the ground and hid in her closet.
Smart.
She called the cops.
That was also smart.
Yeah, he ran outside and hid in in the bushes in her backyard. And when the police showed up to ask him what was going on, he ran at him with a knife. They tasered him several times. That's all I got. I don't know how many, but they said that they tasered him several times.
All right.
And took him to jail. When they went digging through the ashes of his house, what they found were 50 shotguns, one with a sawed-off barrel. 20 semi-automatic rifles.
Who doesn't have 20 semi-automatic rifles in the
we're
house?
just getting warmed up.
All right.
2 Uzis. 2 military-grade flamethrowers. 20 handguns. Thousands of rounds of ammunition. Several locked safes. And 3 human skulls.
Wow.
That shit is metal.
I wouldn't have had the human skulls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. But the rest just sounds normal to me. There are no sawed-off shotguns.
They didn't mention anything about stored food or any of that sort of stuff because it's not sensational enough to talk about. But I'm feeling that he was like a true prepper in the true sense. Yeah. So he was released on bond on December 12th for a $50,000 bond.
Nice.
So I mean, I feel like he's back out there. He's living his life. They're going on tour with Slayer this summer, so watch out for it.
That's it? You're
Be
back
ready.
in the game?
Back in the game. Back in the game. The only thing that he had illegal, because this was in Florida, the only thing that he had that was illegal was the sawed-off shotgun. But he did assault a police officer and
a lady.
yeah.
Yeah, with a knife.
With a knife. I don't know.
And we had all those guns, but he chose a knife.
He chose a knife to
cut.
yeah.
Choice.
That's also metal.
Also metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like I just want to go watch Death Clock.
Yes. Yes. Murder Face.
Murder Face. You're like, Death Clock.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, one guy plays all that and sings that.
It's fantastic, too. It's good. It's
and
good
then he
music.
went out on tour and did it, and like had people fill in the band, and he taught them all the music. My kids were like, "We gotta go see Death Clock," and I'm like,
yeah. If you haven't watched the animated series Death Clock,
I don't think I ever watched.
Was it Death?
The first, yeah, I think it's Death.
That's the name of the band.
No, it's the name of the show. I think.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, it is the name of the band, but I
Right.
think it's the name of the show. But the season 1 anyway was phenomenal.
Fantastic.
There's some kind of clown that likes cocaine.
Yes. Yes. He had that big red nose sniffing up all the cocaine.
Birthday, death day.
Yes.
It's like a complete miracle.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
And so the what else we got? Tac Pack. Let me tell you about Tac Pack, guys. So we actually are going to do a little giveaway, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that in 1 second. But I don't know if you know, Tac Pack is a monthly subscription website. And basically, you sign up, you pay them about $49 a month, and they send you
dope shit.
Usually AR-15 related. I would say you want to be a gun guy or it's not really for you. If you're not an AR-15 guy, maybe you're all hung up on the AK platform.
Right.
You want the 7.62 millimeter. You're like, I need a little bit bigger bullet, Chuck. 5.56 just isn't quite cutting it.
Right. If
Then
you're a
maybe
socialist and
Tac
you
Pac's not-
believe in that sort of
You know,
nonsense.
yeah, you want a commie gun. You're like, oh, stoner, no, whatever. So that's fine. Then Tac Pack might not be right for you. But if you're an AR-15 guy and you love awesome everyday carry kind of cool shit, basically overall badass stuff, then I would have to say maybe Tac Pack is something you guys should look into.
Right.
Over at tacpack.com. And if you did decide to sign up, they're going to send you a gun cleaning mat.
You have to use the code BADASS.
Code BADASS at your checkout, and they're going to hook you up. So that's really cool. Now, actually, we had a listener who has so many subscriptions to Tac Pack that he was able to secure more than one of these badass gun cleaning mats. And he said, you know what? I want to give back to the badass community and share the love. So what we decided is if you guys go on your iPhone or whatever it is you use and find your favorite survival and basic badass podcast episode, share it on Facebook. So if you just bring it up on your phone, like in podcasts or whatever, and you click share the, whatever, and then, share it to Facebook, whatever, and then it'll do it, or it'll give you a linked copy and drop over there. Share it, send us an email, tell us that you did it. We'll pick one of you, and we'll send you a Tac Pack gun cleaning mat for free.
For free.
Free.
No
All
shipping and
expenses.
handling.
No shipping. No nothing. You do have to give us your address because
I'm going to ship
otherwise
it.
I don't
I'm going
know
to
how we'd
handle
get
it,
to
and
you.
I'm not going to charge you anything for that.
Actually, our listeners going to ship
Oh,
it
nice.
and handle
All right.
it.
So
and
we don't
not
even
charge
have
you.
to ship and
But
handle.
we do owe somebody a prepping badass patch.
Okay.
So if you feel like, you know what, it's been a couple weeks, 2 weeks, and I haven't gotten my patch yet, yeah, I'm kind of dropping the ball on that. So
All right.
I'm going to work on that.
Now, if you sign up to Patreon and donate just $1 a month, can feed Chuck's whole family.
For $1.
$1 a month.
Actually, I just ordered some chili mac from my Patriots play.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, actually,
Was it more than $1?
it was 48 servings for $27.
Ooh, that's not too bad.
So I feel like
the kids in Rwanda need to know about
they
this.
need to know, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know. We actually have a link I can probably put in the show notes for that if you'd like. Which I'm sure by the time, people are listening to this in the future, they may not that deal might be come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I was all excited about it. I was like, $27 and give me some chili mac. And I was asking the kids, and I'm like, all right, so if I send them $100, that means 3 48 servings of chili mac, and then like 3 5-gallon cans of Quick Oats or something. I'm at $105. I get free shipping. And if we eat chili mac for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then we're over a month and a half of food storage.
Nice.
See what I did there?
That would be awful.
You can mix it oatmeal.
Eating that every day. Mix the oatmeal in. Classic.
And this is all the time. We're living in a tent.
No, I've had the chili mac.
You want to share a tent and then have the chili mac?
That sounds awful. I've had the chili mac. I recommend hot sauce.
Sauce.
Tabasco will last forever.
The pros right there.
That's right.
All
now,
right.
if you guys want to email us at preppingbadass@gmail.com.
Or get one of those Prepping Badass patches
Mm-hmm.
by signing up at patreon.com/preppingbadass. Or maybe you just enjoyed this episode so much, you want to run over to iTunes and just tell the world, or wherever you listen to this podcast. Maybe it's Spotify, Stitcher. I don't know where else, but
yeah, and we've gotten several classy reviews.
I think somebody mentioned that we're retarded.
Yes, we were retards. They gave us 5 stars.
5 stars,
but we're also retards. Another person called us cucks and gave us 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Classy stuff. So if you want to get on the bandwagon bashing Chuck and Kevin, as long as you give us 5 stars, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Because in fairness, it is possible that me and Kevin may have at one time or another offended every single person, nationality, race, color, sex, age.
Yeah, I think so.
We've pretty much got you covered.
If you haven't been offended,
you're probably
email
not
me.
listening. You're not paying attention.
Email me and tell me something bad about yourself. Describe yourself to me, and I will shit all over you on one of these podcasts. So, if you haven't been offended and you feel left out, let us know.
If you want to live the dream, then that's the trick. But you also may want to use your weekend to go out and buy a boat.
That's right.
So with that, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
The Survival and Basic Badass Podcast is a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.